Hi, my name is Harley Norris, and this is my project for Psychology 211. Today, I'm going to be discussing the question, why do juveniles commit crime? And to further answer that question, I'm going to discuss theories and certain factors that can play into juvenile offending and how these certain theories and factors have been applied to juveniles in a current world situation. So first off, I think it's important to discuss what juvenile offending actually is. So according to definition, it refers to an illegal or antisocial behavior committed by individuals under 18. And these offenses can range from minor things such as like skipping school or petty theft or something like, or vandalism. But then these can escalate to serious problems like robbery or assault, or in some cases murder. And that's important to understand because the juvenile system does treat these juveniles a lot differently than adults, and their trials are a lot more placed into a category where you can't really apply these certain laws to juveniles, and that makes it very difficult to define them again as a juvenile and the importance of what the crime is and how it does relate to the juvenile themselves. So to back juvenile offending, I wanted to discuss major theories that can explain why these juveniles do commit crime. First off, there are biological theories, and some of these theories suggest that biological factors like genetics or such things as being impulsive or a hormonal imbalance can make these individuals more prone to risky or more so aggressive behavior. But that also isn't the fact because the environment there can play a factor too. Another thing to discuss is psychological theories. These theories really focus on the mental and emotional development of these juveniles. Such things as having low self-control or such things as major trauma can increase these risk of becoming a juvenile offender. And to also further explain that, 2021 study in European Journal of Criminology found that low self-control and peer influence reinforce each other over time, increasing the risk of delinquency. And then also to build on that, I want to discuss the sociological theories. These also look at more so the social environment, such as someone in their community, maybe in their family or their peers. Some theory I want to discuss is the social learning theory, which explains that young people often imitate behaviors they see rewarded around them. So, example, you could see someone like selling drugs and they see money in return. They got potentially see that as reward for them handing them. Then again, we can't really explain how a child feels in the moment. Another theory I would like to discuss is strain theory. This theory discusses that youth can't reach success through legal means, and this means they eventually may turn to illegal ones, such as robbery, scamming, etc. You know how it goes. Labeling theory, another theory I want to discuss. It states that when society labels someone as a delinquent, it may further push that person to believe that they themselves are a delinquent, which also can further enhance the juvenile offending process. And I also want to discuss a 2024 meta-review in clinical psychology found strong evidence that poor family supervision, peer deviance, and community crime exposure are among the strongest predictors of youth offending. And that is very important to take down because I think someone's environment has a lot to do with how they do end up growing up to be an adult and the way they think and how they feel about certain things. And I think that alone in itself is a very strong indicator of potential juvenile offending. And I think a lot of these departments and more so can further develop units eventually to maybe put a focus on juvenile delinquency because this is the future of our country, and I think it is important, although it is a very small number. I think it is important to put a focus on these individuals because we're all one together, and I think we really need to focus on building each other up and not putting each other down. Now I want to discuss the factors that can contribute to juvenile offending. Some of the main factors. So within the main factors, there's 4 different categories we're going to go through. So individual factors include impulsivity, poor decision making, and substance abuse. So I mean, taking drugs, of course, can alter your brain as a young individual. Family factors such as neglect, getting abused, or say you do something bad as a kid and your parent doesn't discipline you for that, that could also cause harm. Peer influence, who you hang out with is most likely who you're going to be. You're guilty by association. So in a sense, really focusing on who you surround yourself with can also play a role in, again, becoming a juvenile offender. And then like social factors such as not doing well in school, or like contributing in neighborhood crime, or such things as living in poverty. You're looking for ways to make money, and that alone in itself can really drive an individual to commit crimes. And it sucks because they don't really have any bad means behind it, but they're doing it to provide for their family, which is sad that they have to like go to that extent to provide for them. And then also I wanted to discuss, in 2025, a meta-analysis in aggression and violent behavior found that lower academic achievement is significantly linked with higher chances of youth offending. And also another study published in developmental psychology found that weak parental monitoring, exposure to deviant peers predict higher rates of serious delinquency. Again, another major problem. And then also mental health. Mental health within itself is a major problem in our country. In 2025, a systematic review in child and youth care forum found that young people entering juvenile custody have extremely high rates of anxiety, depression, and trauma. And all of these can increase to reoffending if the individual themselves don't go to therapy, or whatever extent is needed for them to and essentially, in a sense, recover from these offenses. And then one quick thing I want to note on is the importance of rehabilitation and preventing reoffending. I think it's important to discuss certain research points that can lead to early intervention with the individual, or such things as community-based programs that can also help the individual recover from, not recover, but they are being rehabilitated for what they have done. In 2025, a meta-analysis called Winnipeg, the Slate Clean, my bad, found that structured aftercare programs after detention can reduce recidivism by about 13%, and this shows that rehabilitation does work when done right. Another thing is family-based therapy has shown that it's been effective. A multi-level meta-analysis by Dopp and colleagues found that family-focused treatments significantly reduce serious offending among individuals. And again, this is all within peer-reviewed journals, and for themselves it is stating that this has shown to be effective. And I think this is very important in preventing juvenile offending. And then just to sort of all wrap it up, I think it is important to know that juvenile offending is shaped by a mix of biological, psychological, and social factors, but with support from families, friends, access to such things as therapy and like ways that can rehabilitate, many of these risks of being a juvenile offender can be reduced. And yeah, thank you for watching.